Alright, right up there is a structure in an area that I've been to many times, and I'm certain that structure was not here last summer. With the structures that were burnt, obviously these creatures were going to have to build some new structures, and this appears to be one of them. I'm going to get in close and look at it. It's a teepee against a tree. There have been no people up here. I'm up here literally the first day of the spring since the fire last fall. No one's been allowed up here. The road's been closed. The campground isn't even open yet. And I've seen one group of one family and then several of the camp hosts. And that's all I've seen up here. The official opening of the campground is tomorrow. Alright, here's a structure from another angle. Now you can see there are a couple of chopped poles, but most of them appear to be broken off. While I was walking up to this, I saw a reddish-brown creature that was low to the ground bound off, and my dog went after it. I'm pretty sure it was a bear, probably not too big a one. And you can see how the cross members are put into this. Now this shows all the signs of a Sasquatch built structure and not human. And again, I'm pretty certain this came here since last summer. You can see almost all are broken. There's no twine holding any pieces together. And they're wedged together and wedged underneath each other to hold each other up. Just classic, the way Sasquatches build these things. See the cross members going across interwoven, again to hold the upright members in place. Okay, here's a second structure. One of those big ones seems chopped across the top. This is more like a structure a human would build. But again, this is within 50 yards of the structure I just took photos of. I'm pretty certain this is a Sasquatch structure under construction here. Again, there are no ties, nothing tying anything in place, and people don't do that. Here's my dog Bear. We've had a relatively small black bear who's reddish brown in color that we scared out of here. I just saw it bounding in the underbrush. And Bear been kind of on it. It ran away from us and then kind of circled us. Animals will do that because they want to keep an eye on you. These two structures, I'm certain, were put into here since the fire of last fall and this spring. I hear some of these people that get out in the woods claim you don't see bones in the woods. Well, they don't hike in the woods much. Almost every time I come in the woods I find animal bones. And this appears to be right here a deer skull, the remains of one. It's been eaten on by rodents and the like. And these other structures I've just seen are within a couple of 100 yards of this structure, which I first found a couple of years ago. Obviously an incredibly active area. Okay, here's a structure I've never seen before. Literally walked right up on top of it before I saw it. Very crudely made. Notice these poles are just leaned. And the pole that's crosswise is being held over some sticks by the ones leaning against it. Area inside's been matted Something's been inside there. This is a large structure, and in the middle of the pines here. And I literally was on top of it before I saw it. Only 30, 40 feet away from it. It's hard to get far enough away to get a good view of it, but it's almost chaos. Even a big board. I hear something walking off in the brush, almost directly in line with the camera. And this is the side as I'm looking, probably about due east. And here it is as I'm headed facing probably due south. There's a cache of sticks piled there. People did that, you'd say they were collecting it for fire. Can't say why they'd be there. And here's a bunch of stuff just set on a rock. Alright, I'm going to add something to it. I don't know what I've got, but I'm going to put something here, see what we find. Okay, that's what I put. A Gatorade Zero and 2 pennies on their edge. Obviously anybody walking by may mess with them, but I'll come back in a couple of days and see if anything happens. Alright, this is October 26, 2019. This structure I photographed before, and it looks pretty much the same. There might be a few upright sticks added to it, but nothing appreciably different, but that could have been done by people or kids, because it's right in a campground. Okay, and here I am from the other side. This is mainly just to compare the photos with what I had seen before. I can't really say any appreciable difference. But I still do not think this was made by people. Too few cut holes in there. You can see 3, 4 with cut ends. Okay, here's a little, kind of like a, I'm guessing a screen, a hunting screen in the same area. I photographed this once before. And again, this could have been human made, but I doubt it. But it doesn't appear like anything's been touched or altered on it in quite a while. And here is the remains of the Sasquatch village. There's a second structure there. And that's a third structure way in the background. And there were several others in here, but they've all kind of disappeared.